We are continuing the Halloween Dragon theme with the Divine Harvest banner. If this continues, maybe our new Dragon MC will join the party. For this year, you can summon for Halloween Naga, Male and Female Corrin, plus Duo Duma and Mila. We also have lots of Dragon only skills available. We'll talk about everyone's stats and skills, plus discuss general playstyles and some build ideas. As a reminder, Female Shez is also now available in the 3 to 4 star pool. Our 4 star focus unit this year is going to be Halloween Naga. You can earn her at 4 star and 5 star rarity. As a unit, this Naga is going to be a colorless flying dragon. That's a pretty neat class type for a 4 star focus. For stats, Naga has 30 HP, 42 attack, 31 speed, 35 defense, and 37 res. She has an attack super boon on top of some good base attack, but Naga will end up in that awkward speed stat of not too slow to min-max and not fast enough to matter without tons of speed investment. Her base HP is a little low for a melee unit, but her defense and res are rather decent, kind of like a Murd type stat spread. For old skills, Naga actually has some really good fodder. Unfortunately, I don't think you can get 2 of them in one go. She has Rally Up Attack Plus and Attack and Res Range 3. Naga will be the first unit with Attack and Res Catch 3, which could be useful to get to the tier 4 elsewhere. That's not all her fodder though, because Naga has a new inheritable Dragon Stone, Serenity Breath Plus. We are literally only getting new inheritable dragon weapons from these Halloween banners, but most new dragons just also have unique weapons anyway. Serenity Breath Plus has 14 might, and if the foe initiates combat or has more than 75% HP, inflict -5 attack and res on the foe, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack. Attack and res debuffs plus follow-up denial, that can work on either phase. Not too bad, but after seeing the potential of rearmed arcane weapons, this pales in comparison. I mean, Leaf Sword does all of this, plus accelerated specials, and it has guard, and it has a free follow-up, and it's refinable too. I don't know, man. Regular inheritable weapons don't seem to be getting huge upgrades since that release, so I feel like everyone's just going to be waiting for new arcane weapons. Could we see an arcane dragonstone? Maybe, but the question really is, if or when will that happen? Serenity Breath is okay, but definitely nothing insane. Last year's Lantern Breath Plus from Halloween Crit Naga also has attack and res debuffs, but comes with guard instead. With this base kit, we have a very simple defensive build. Serenity Breath plus Attack and Res Rain combined for a -9 Attack and Res debuffs and deny a follow-up attack. Attack and Res Catch is alright, and you could also run the Attack and Defense Catch Sacred Seal to balance things out. Pick a defense or res stat refine for the weapon. If you want to kill stuff, you can then add Quicker Post, maybe using Distant Counter Sacred Seal. Another option is to go full tank with Dragon Wall. You get -9 res debuffs, which are going to help the res check, and you got Attack and Res Catch with a potential res refine too. Bit of a spoiler, but on this banner we are getting Dragon's Ire 4, which does kind of work for Naga. Basically, it gives you a free follow-up attack on the player phase, but the offensive no follow-up portion is only for enemy phase only. It also inflicts another -4 attack and res debuffs, which stacks with our Rain C skill and weapon. -13 attack and res, free follow-ups on both phases, and Naga's pretty good base attack stat makes her a lot more interesting here. You could run Sturdy Search for healing, although the only cooldown option to pair it with is Heavy Blade. Naga can make it work though. If you do go more offensive, the Oath Force skills provide warping. We only got attack and speed, but some speed doesn't hurt either. If you don't want to rely on follow-up attacks, you could instead use Dragon's Wrath 4, some damage reduction with bonus damage on one hit. Maybe pair it with something like Distant Counter, but it's tough for Naga to get specials going at the same time. For other defensive options, like I mentioned, Lantern Breath Plus provides guard instead of follow-up denial. Blackfire Breath Plus is from Halloween Degentia, who is actually an Ephemeral 10 option. This is basically a solo low attack and res weapon. Also not bad with Dragon's Ire 4. There is also the Surprise Breath Plus from our next Tempest Trials Dragon unit. It's like a res version of the recent Flame Gunbai sword. Overall though, Halloween Naga can stack up quite a bit of attack and res debuffs. It does seem like they want you to get the new Dragon's Ire 4, but the other dragon skills work too. She kind of feels like a Murd type unit, and unfortunately though, Naga didn't bring any of her unique skills from her mythic alt. Maybe had a little too much candy this year and didn't brush her teeth enough. Our next unit is Halloween Male Corrin, who is a green infantry dragon this time. We just stepped into Gen 7 BST, but the Corrins are here as trainees. So we get a peek at Gen 8 infantry base stat totals already. 44 HP, 44 attack, 21 speed, 44 defense, 39 res. Jesus. Male Corrin will be very slow this time and is rocking a res super boom. He's got triple 44 base stats for a whopping 192 BST, very tanky boy. For old skills, Corrin's going to come with Moonbow and Distant Stance, the pure distant counter upgrade with +5 res. We have our Dragon DC Sacred Seal, but we got 2 distant counter skills available on this banner if you want them. For his weapon, Starlight Stone, it has 16 might, accelerates specials. If foe initiates combat or has more than 75% HP, grant +6 attack, inflict -6 attack, and guard on the foe. Restore 7 HP to Corrin per hit, and if the foe can make a follow-up attack, then reduce the first hit by 75%. Yeesh. Male Corrin is expecting to get hit a ton, but he has big damage reduction for that first hit. For the second hit, guard might prevent a special proc, and Corrin's counterattack will also heal him as well. We also got accelerated specials to fire back with Moonbow instantly, but you can also reply with a big bonfire iceberg thanks to Steady Breath seals. Solid weapon for Corrin. As mentioned before, Dragon's Ire 4 is now available. At start of combat, if the foe has more than 25% HP, inflict -4 attack and res, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, and on the enemy phase only, you get offensive no follow-up. Dragon's Ire 3 used to be enemy phase only and had no debuffs, so like Dragon's Wrath 4, it's become a more interesting beast skill option. Now it gives slower dragons like Corrin a player phase follow-up, and even if you don't get the partial no follow-up effect, I think it's still amazing for mixed phase power. It's still best on the enemy phase, but if you can use it on a faster dragon like say Halloween Naga, then you can use the free follow-up to cancel out follow-up prevention. Definitely an upgrade that may be worth getting if you had the tier 3 on a dragon. Overall, Halloween Male Corrin is basically built like an armor unit. If he gets doubled, which he should, then you got 75% DR for one hit, you heal on your counterattack, and guard might stop a special on the second hit. No guard will ignore this, so if you want to stop the fight quickly, you got accelerated specials to proc Moonbow or on Corrin's retaliation. If you want bigger burst damage, use Steady Awarding Breath and either Bonfire or Iceberg, whichever one's higher. However, if you think Corrin can tank the second attack, you got Dragon's Ire for his own counterattack, and that's more HP to heal back up. Dragon's Ire 4 can also give Corrin player phase power, and he has 44 base attack to use it with. Maybe give him Attack of His Menace for buffs and debuffs if Corrin needs to go out and attack a target. He does have Distant Stance to fight anyone, but you can swap it to the DC Sacred Seal. You lose out on Steady Breath, but you could instead get another effect like Unity. A fun A skill for Corrin can be attack and res finish. If you charge up that Moonbow or Glimmer, now Corrin's gonna get +5 extra damage and another 7 HP healing when you counterattack. That means our dude will heal 14 HP, which is insane, and if you double from Dragon's Ire, that's another 14 HP. If you're afraid of no follow-up, since it's now flat out a Sacred Seal now, maybe drop Dragon's Ire for a Dragon Wall. The damage reduction is a little wasted on the first hit, but another 40% DR for hit number 2 can definitely tank a special proc. Tekraman's finish complements the res check nicely. You could also try Bulwark for Super Obstruct, debuffs, and another 7 HP after the fight. There is no res variant just yet, so not the best for Corrin, but I think it'll come eventually. Now something fun, instead of Dragon Wall for hit number 2, you could try a Scoochian. You lose out on Moonbow or Glimmer, but it can proc finish for its extra benefits while giving damage reduction for the second hit. Remember, Corrin has 75% DR for hit number 1, so it's really the second hit that needs protection. You would also be able to use Dragon's Ire for more powerful or more follow-up chances. More attacks means more healing, doubled with finish 4. This tactic is messed up by offensive guard though, so watch out. Overall, Halloween Male Corrin is quite scary. As an infantry unit, you can run some fun skills like Finish 4, Bulwark, and all the cooldown perks, Times Pulse, Special Spiral, and the Breath Sacred Seals. Dragon's Ire 4 gives Corrin offense for either phase, but you can swap it to things like Dragon Wall or Dragon's Wrath if you think no follow-up is too prominent. Dragon's Wrath 4 is a bit wasted on this Corrin since he already has huge DR on the first hit, but if the bonus true damage on the counterattack led to a KO, then it might be worth it. If you run into this Male Corrin, you're definitely going to want something like a Falchion to cut him down. You may also want to have a green Falchion on hand because Halloween Female Corrin is a blue infantry dragon. Like her counterpart, she has the training boost with 40 HP, 42 attack, 45 speed, 36 defense, and 30 res, 193 BST. Corrin has an attack super boon, which you may want, but a speed boon obviously is great too. In terms of just base stats, 45 speeds is a new record. Corrin will not be outdone by Flame Lyn. She is very similar to her legendary ult with lots of attack and speed and decent defense and res. This Corrin is going to be a menace because she comes with negating Fang. She really does not want to lose to Flame Lyn, reminding everyone that she had the first defensive special that works on melee or ranged foes. After it triggers, Corrin empowers her next counterattack with basically Draconic Aura type damage. For more attack, she once again has Joint Drive attack, and to further empower the counter, Corrin has Dragon's Wrath 4. Reminder, it's mixed phase now. You may be wondering how negating Fang works without Shield Pulse, but Corrin still has it because it's just built into her Moonlight Stone. 16 might accelerate specials, and on turn 1, grant -2 cooldown if you're running a defensive special. If the foe initiates combat or has more than 75% HP, grant +5 to all stats, +1 special charge per Corrin's own attacks, inflict a guard on the foe, and reduce damage dealt by 8 when your defensive special triggers. Oh boy. Halloween Female Corrin is literally just Legendary Corrin 2.0. Shield Pulse is built into her weapon now, and it reduces damage by a flat 8 instead of 5. Corrin still gets Blade type cooldown to recharge negating Fang, but now she also adds guard onto her weapon as well. I feel a bit bad for those that outfitted their Legendary Corrins with Attack and Risk Finish 4 because the Attack and Speed variant is now in the game. If unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grant +7 attack and speed, and if your special is ready or has triggered, you deal +5 true damage per hit and you heal 7 HP per hit. Flame Lin has a souped up Finish 4 to use with godlike reflexes, and this Corrin is employing the exact same idea with negating Fang. It's charged thanks to Shield Pulse on her weapon, so after Corrin triggers it, she gets the benefits of Finish 4. One issue with Legendary Corrin was a lack of sustain. Finish 4 gives Corrin healing, and the DC Sacred Seal lets her continue to fight anyone. Halloween Female Corrin does the exact same things. As for attack and speed finish, this might become a very solid option for a lot of faster units. Pre-charged Vital Astra can get the extra damage and healing immediately. Yen Fei can make use of it well, even if it's not pre-charged. If you tank a hit with Darting Breath, you can ready his special, and you can still get the benefits from Finish 4's bonuses. The 2 Shezes have Breath type cooldown, so they can do the same thing minus this encounter. I've pretty much explained how Halloween Female Corrin functions, exactly the same as Legendary Corrin with Finish 4, but we have a stronger Shield Pulse built into Moonlight Stone, which lets Corrin run under their B skill. In this case, Dragon's Wrath 4. With this base kit, you are pretty much ready to rock and roll. Corrin has all 3 damage reduction types. Dragon's Wrath gives 25% DR for 1 hit, negating Fang is another 30% DR, but it's a special. After both of those activate, you reduce what's left by -8 flat damage reduction. Legendary Nana can stop negating Fang, but she can't stop Dragon's Wrath. All other damage reduction counters mess with Dragon's Wrath, but can't touch negating Fang. If both of those are active, Corrin gets almost 50% DR with the -8 flat damage reduction. You then have the counterattack, which is empowered by 3 sources of true damage, negating Fang's Draconic Aura, +5 from Finish 4, and Dragon's Wrath's 25% attack minus res. You also heal 7 HP. Corrin is incentivized to stack attack for Draconic Aura and Dragon's Wrath. Joint Drive attack is great here, and Attack and Speed Sacred Seal would be good too. Of course, if you want to fight anyone, slot in Distant Counter. You do have some interesting skill options. Speed Smoke 4 only further adds to Corrin's high speed, and then you add Dodge to her arsenal of damage reduction. Attack and Speed Menace is another option if speed is a concern. These might be better if you want Corrin who can attack aggressively, and if you want that, you can drop Distant Counter for no follow-up in the seal slot. Available from the current Tempest Trials, no follow-up is another good option if you want to use other B skills. Letting Corrin double lets her double dip from Finish 4's healing, although she also has the empowered counterattack damage from that. It would be stronger when attacking herself, and there are the no follow-up support skills available if you want those. If you are concerned about always recharging negating Fang, you can run Tempo. Technically, Special Spiral works too. I don't think it's necessary, but if you don't care about speed for whatever reason, you could use Dragon Wall and Stack Resistance. That could be better versus Brave Weapons, and if Corrin ends up getting doubled. Overall, very annoying unit. You gotta deal with negating Fang if you're melee or ranged. You got Shield Pulse, and you got a ton of speed plus pretty substantial counterattack damage. Imagine facing this Corrin, Flame Lin's godlike reflexes, and a Hardy Fighter unit all on the same team. Yeesh. Bring some odd or even pulsed high users, and hopefully Legendary Nana's defensive special counter niche doesn't stay locked to her only. Last up, we have Duo Duma and Mila. The 2 dragon gods are teaming up this time and are a red armored dragon. For stats, Duma has 47 HP, 46 attack, 19 speed, 44 defense, and 43 res. Defense has super boons for ultimate tanking with 195 BST. Would have been the highest in the game if not for Ascended Dune, and for just base stats, 46 attack is another new record. Something I believe Duo Duma does hold alone, for now at least, is their new arena scoring bonus is set to 200 BST. Goddamn. If you care about arena score, have fun with the new BST jump. Now for old skills, Duma brings Glimmer and Dragon Wall 3, nothing too crazy, although I personally don't know if Dragon Wall is their best option. For their weapon, we have the Ghostly Lanterns, 16 might accelerate specials, and at start of combat if Duma has more than 25% HP, grant +6 attack, inflict -6 attack on the foe, neutralize the foe's guaranteed follow-up skills, prevent their regular follow-ups, and last, if the foe has an offensive special and Duma has 5 more res than the opponent, inflict +1 special cooldown on the foe before their first attack. So first off, this may seem redundant to have follow-up denial and defensive no follow-up, but they block off different aspects. Basically, the only way to double Duma is to bring offensive no follow-up, and outspeed him of course. If free follow-up plus outspeeding does not work against this duo. In addition, Duo Duma has Brave Tiki's mechanic of denying enemy pre-charged specials. If you win a res check, you uncharge their special, which means a lot less damage to tank and no Deadeye or lethality to disable damage reduction. Very strong effect, but it gets better. Duo Duma actually gets a different version of his mythic skill called Woeful Upheaval. On turn 1, deals 7 damage to all foes. Duma then gains % damage reduction for 1 hit equal to the difference between his attack stat minus the foe's attack stat, plus the value of the foe's missing HP. You take that total and times by 3%, maxing out at 30% DR. Finally, Duma gets Far Save. Let's break down the damage reduction because it is a bit confusing. Basically, you gain 3% damage reduction for each point of the difference between Duma's attack and the foe's attack. You gain 3% DR for every point missing HP on the enemy. If the foe is missing 7 HP from Upheaval, Duma gets 21% damage reduction. You can hit the max by then only needing 3 more attack than the enemy. Other ways to achieve this are to have 10 more attack than the enemy, or if the foe is missing 10 health. In arena or summoner duels, if you cannot heal, Duma already has 21% DR. In Aether raids, if healing towers are available or a healer in general, then you can just win the attack check outright. All of this on top of their high defensive stats, and the guy has Far Save built in this time. While you can use the Distant Counter Sacred Seal, Duma comes with Distant Ferocity. This is a straight upgrade to Distant Counter, granting +5 attack on the side. The counterpart is Distant Storm, which grants attack on both phases at the cost of recoil damage. For pure enemy phase tanking like Duo Duma will do with Far Save, Distant Ferocity is the better option to not lose HP. There are a lot of strong A skills to pair with the DC Sacred Seal, but you may want to keep this one in the A slot. Last thing to discuss, their dual skill, neutralize any penalty, heal 30 HP, and grant the low status for 1 turn to Duma and allies within 5 rows and 5 columns. It's been a long time, but this dual skill is actually similar to Duo Alm and Celica's skill. Their Dragon Gods will also cleanse penalties with a heal, but instead of an attack and speed field buff, Duma and friends are going to neutralize enemy field buffs. This is a more support-based skill for Duma's team because he's a Far Save arm unit. When you cleanse penalties, you need to make an offensive move because otherwise, next turn the enemy just reapplies those debuffs. For example, it's pointless to cleanse Duma of Panic or Guard status if you just plan to end turn and hit Far Save. One way to actively use it is with the recent legendary Ninian. She can dance, she gains another turn, and Duma can cleanse Ninian of Isolation, letting her dance again. Is it practical? Maybe not, but it's an option. For modes like Arena, what can benefit Duma is the healing. After a turn of Far Saving action, you can heal 30 HP and you're ready to go again. In terms of playstyle, not much to say. You got a tanky Far Saving dragon who can counter instant specials. You got 2 damage reduction perks and block doubles from anyone without no follow-up. Duma can fire back with Glimmer, so squishy ranged foes are in big trouble, especially with adaptive damage in play. One concern is that we have 2 res checks on for Dragon Wall and to actually counter instant specials. However, Duma's base kit has no res increasing skills. 43 pace res is massive, but maybe try to get this man a little more. In terms of Far Saving, if you just want to one-shot counterattack foes, then I feel like Dragon's Wrath is just the better option. You're still gonna get damage reduction, but Duma now gets extra damage that scales with his high base attack. If the foe has high res to counter, adaptive damage just targets their low defense, and Glimmer scales higher because of that. This playstyle also works well with Distant Ferocity and grabbing an attack boosting Sacred Seal. A lot of problems are solved if you don't get doubled because the enemy's just already dead. Now, there are ways to avoid this, namely something like Fire Sweep or Water Sweep. Very relevant. Summerlin's Refine almost seem targeted at Duo Duma. A. Armor effectiveness. B. She ignores his distant counter. C. Offensive follow-up. D. No guard. And I guess extra credit, you got Triangle Advantage. Into the base kit of Duma, Lyn can double safely with armor effectiveness. She can proc any 2-column special like Ruptured Sky on the second hit. If she runs Heavy Blade plus Deadeye triggers on hit 2. If Lyn wins an attack check, although to be fair, I don't think she can do that. It will be extremely tough to beat Duma. Let's instead say though she has pre-charged Deadeye. Ghostly Lanterns will uncharge it, but with no guard, Lyn's just gonna recharge it after the first hit and she'll proc it on hit 2 anyway. One way to mess up Deadeye's damage scaling is to run Fallen Shield to negate armor effectiveness. To prevent specials from recharging, you can also try Guard. To be honest, I don't even know if you want or need Hardy Fighter for him. Regardless, should be clear that Duo Duma and Mila are going to be one tough nut to crack. Countering instant specials is so strong, and if the enemy doesn't block their counterattack, Duma has a lot of damage to finish the job in a single blow. If you're not planning to summon, we have Halloween Nils as our next Tempest Trials unit. We also got a sneak peek at another new unit, one who may be summonable very soon. If you're planning to summon, please read the notification in-game about the updated prices for orbs. I believe the changes are now active as well, so read that notification to see if you're affected and spend responsibly. Good luck on your summons, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.